Osho, The Art of Dying, Talks on Hasidism, given at the Osho Commune International, Pune, India. Discourse number 1.
Bhagwan, when Rabbi Burnham lay dying, his wife burst into tears. He said, "What are you crying for? My whole life was only that I might learn how to die."
Life is in living. It is not a thing. It is a process. There is no way to attain to life except by living it, except being alive, flowing, streaming with it. If you are seeking the meaning of life in some dogma, in some philosophy, in some theology, that is the sure way to miss life and meaning both. A life is not somewhere waiting for you. It is happening in you. It is not in future as a goal to be arrived. It is here now, this very moment, in your breathing, circulating in your blood, beating in your heart. Whatsoever you are is your life. And if you start seeking meaning somewhere else, you will miss it. And man has done that for centuries. Concepts have become very important. Explanations have become very important. And the real is completely forgotten. We don't look to that which is already here. We want rationalization. I have heard a very beautiful story. Some years ago, a successful American had a serious identity crisis. He sought help from psychiatrists, but nothing came of it, for there was none who could tell him the meaning of life, which is what he wanted to know. By and by he learned of a venerable and incredibly wise guru who lived in a mysterious and most inaccessible region of the Himalayas. Only that guru, he came to believe, would tell him what life means and what his role in it ought to be. So he sold all his worldly possessions and began his search for the all-knowing guru. He spent 8 years wandering from village to village throughout the Himalayas in an effort to find him. And then one day he chanced upon a shepherd who told him where the guru lived and how to reach the place. It took him almost a year to find him, but he eventually did. There he came upon his guru, who was indeed venerable, in fact, well over 100 years old. The guru consented to help him, especially when he learned of all the sacrifices the man made towards this end. "What can I do for you, my son?" asked the guru. "I need to know the meaning of life," said the man. To this the guru replied without hesitation, "Life," he said, "is a river without end." "A river without end?" said the man in a startled surprise. "After coming all this way to find you, All you have to tell me is that life is a river without end. The Guru was shaken, shocked. He became very angry and he said, "You mean it is not?" Nobody can give you the meaning of your life. It is your life. The meaning has also to be yours. Himalayas won't help. Nobody except you can come upon it. It is your life, and it is only accessible to you. Only in living the mystery will be revealed to you. The first thing I would like to tell you is, don't seek it anywhere else. Don't seek it in me. Don't seek it in scriptures. Don't seek in clever explanations. They all explain away. They don't explain. They simply stuff your empty mind. They don't make you aware of what is. And the more the mind is stuffed with dead knowledge, the more dull and stupid you become. Knowledge makes people stupid. It dulls their sensitivity. It stuffs them. It becomes a weight on them. It strengthens their ego, but it does not give light, and it does not show you the way. It is not possible. Life is already there, bubbling within you. It can be contacted only there. The temple is not outside. You are the shrine of it. So the first thing to remember, if you want to know what life is, never seek it without. Never try to find out from somebody else. The meaning cannot be transferred that way. And the greatest masters have never said anything about life. They have always thrown you back to yourself. The second thing to remember, once you know what life is, you will know what death is. Because death is also the part of the same process. Ordinarily we think death comes at the end. Ordinarily we think death is against life. Ordinarily we think death is the enemy. Death is not the enemy. And if you think death as the enemy, it simply shows you have not been able to know what life is. Death and life are two polarities of the same energy, of the same phenomenon. The tide and the ebb, the day and the night, the summer and winter, they are not separate and not opposites, not contraries, they are complementaries. Death is not the end of life. In fact, it is a completion of one life. The crescendo of one life. The climax, the final. But once you know your life and its process, then you understand what death is. Death is an organic, integral part of life. And it is very friendly to life. Without it, life cannot exist. It exists because of death. Death gives the background. Death is in fact a process of renewal. And death also happens each moment as life happens, because the renewal is needed each moment. The moment you breathe in and the moment you breathe out, both are happening. Breathing in, life happens. Breathing out, death happens. That's why when a child is born, the first thing he is going to do is to breathe in. Then life starts. And the last thing when an old man is dying will be he breathes out. Life departs. Breathing out is death, breathing in is life. And both are like two wheels of a bullock cart. You live by breathing in as much as you live by